Hey guys, this video specifically pertains to the subclassification of your financial instruments into one of the three buckets, namely amortized cost, fair value through profit and loss, and fair value through OCI. Do remember that these buckets determine your initial as well as subsequent measurement of your financial instrument. Within these buckets, it's important to remember that only certain instruments may fall into them. For example, amortized cost, you may only select debt instruments. With fair value through profit and loss, it can either be a debt instrument or an equity instrument, and with fair value for OCI, only equity instruments. So now we're sitting with a problem. Our instrument can be classified into two buckets. So now we need to determine which by looking at either the business model or the cash flow characteristics. The business model is the intention of the entity. If it's held to collect contractual cash flows or for non-trading activities, it can either be through fair value for OCI or amortized cost. If it's specifically held for trade, it's always fair value through profit or loss. When we look at the cash flow characteristics, we're looking at what are we collecting. If it's solely payment of principal and interest, it's fair value for OCI or amortized cost. If it's not solely payment of principal and interest or short-term profit, it's fair value through profit and loss. Looking at an example, P Limited invested 150 1,007% debentures on the 1st of March 2018. The intention is to hold it to collect contractual cash flows or to receive payments of principal and interest only. Thus, looking at debentures in its nature, it is a debt instrument. As the intention is to hold it to collect contractual cash flows, it is thus fair value for OCI or amortized cost. As the payments will consist only of principal and interest, it can thus either be fair value for OCI or amortized cost. As it is a debt instrument, fair value for OCI is cancelled out. Therefore, we sit with amortized cost and fair value for profit and loss. The thought process then says that a debt instrument is either amortized cost or fair value for profit and loss. We held it to collect contractual cash flows. It's thus either amortized cost or fair value for OCI. We thus have one combination that equates to one another, and that's amortized cost. Therefore, the instrument will be categorized as amortized